Shizzle on the Wizzel is supported by our proud sponsors Lofoten Surf Center, Surfed Shop, and surfshop.no. Thank you very much.
Does either one of you have anything even remotely interesting to tell me?
Caught my first tube this morning, sir.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Wizzel Shizzle.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
With Jaymin and Pear.
Alright, let's do it.
Alright, welcome back everybody to the Shizzle on the Wizzel. There's a Goostemning in Speakerteltet today, which is pretty packed, with a dong party, alongside me, Big Dong Schlong, Jaymin Rowlands.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, everyone, you can sit down now. That's
Next
fine.
to us is Junior Dong. Just kidding.
Semi dong.
Why do I even come back? Like, you asked me to come back, and then I just like, there's no point. I should have just stayed at home.
Well, me and Pear got sick of ripping into each other.
So you just needed a third punching bag, and that's why.
We just needed a piece of meat.
Do people even want to
kick.
listen to me? Like, what?
We wanted to tenderize you before we
But you
fry
know
you.
so much.
What am I
You
doing
know so
here?
much. You're covering for us. And last but not least, the tech whiz, the owner, the big Don,
Yes.
Ivar.
Good day.
Pharaoh of
Good day.
Egypt.
It's been a long time. The memories on my side are a little bit vague after medicating myself for weeks. But I remember Jeffreys Bay was a wicked affair.
Insane event.
Yeah.
Insane.
It has been a while ago, so it's a bit blurry now, but yeah, the waves were so sick.
Yeah, this is the beginning of August. We're recording this. And I can't even remember which date, Jeff, the last one was.
You're almost mid-August, and that was at the end of July.
It pretty much kicked off. Hey,
The 21st of July, I think.
Yeah, that was the end of the window, but
The 15th of July is when they finished.
Yeah, they got straight into it because there was a massive set coming.
Yeah.
A massive set. There was a massive swell coming at the start of the window, so they were really lucky with that.
Oh no, and there was. I mean, I just got to say it off the start. I had so much fun with this event. Last time I had this much fun was Pipe, I think. Like the first event was the same kind of fun I had, I think.
So did you get to see a lot of it?
I mean, like, I saw most of the beginning, and then I fell off, so I didn't see the finals, actually. But I saw the repeats, but...
Yeah.
But it was cooking, yeah?
Unbelievable. Like it from and everyone was getting pushed to their limit.
Yeah.
You know, like we often kind of think about like big waves. I don't think anyone realizes how big it actually was down there.
Oh, you could see them getting beaten up.
If you surf Jbay, even on a small day, it kind of looks a little bit it looks from a distance like it was. You think it looks bigger than what it it feels way bigger than what it looks. So for those sets to be wrapping in the bay and almost closing out, we're talking meters and meters of white water. It's insane. So hats off. And even for the girls, like...
That's what I remember.
Do you remember?
The clearest what I remember is Tatiana Western Webb taking it to town.
I think that's probably the biggest highlight. Like her.
Yeah. Was it her and Steph in that heat? I don't want to jump ahead, but I remember Steph in the same... I think it might have been the heat after, having the same conditions, and it was incredible. Those guys got friggin' pushed to the limit. Yeah. So
and they really pushed the limits.
Yeah, well, they did. They earned their dollars for sure.
I'm just going from... Was it El Salvador before this one?
It was Rio.
It was Rio. Oh, yeah. So El Salvador was kind of crappy. Rio was okay. And then this one was...
The bomb.
Yeah. It's a good...
Well, looking back, like, this was insane. Yeah. Like, it wasn't ultimate pumping Jeffreys Bay, but for the most part, like, it was so rippable and so perfect in its own way.
Yeah, and while we're on that swell, in that time frame, the whole ocean all over the planet went off.
Yeah.
I mean, remember the footage of the waves breaking over the houses in Hawaii? Where it just splashed over, and Chopes was crazy.
Had its like second
and
code red
Maui had a 50-year wave coming in.
Yeah, I watched that actually that last night, the code red 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
But
incredible.
even like you were saying, that wave in Maui, that was like the Insta clips that were
Was it
dropping.
called again? Steam Train?
Yeah, well, apparently
Big deal, I heard.
Apparently, it was a popular place years and years ago, but for it to actually break now, because they've kind of apparently they built something up there. Yeah, like Freight Train or something.
Freight Train is cool.
It has to, if we can imagine, throwing a tennis ball through like hoops in the air. That's like, and actually getting it through 3 or 4 hoops. That's like the swell creeping its way in, and it was that solid that it pumped for 2 days there.
That was massive there.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was action filled on the TV screen. It was action filled, not so much in the home front.
What are you? Okay, let's pick out.
Let's
a couple
have 5 minutes. 5 minutes debrief with Per about this one.
Right, we can jump into things that stick into your mind. Like, what were the highlights for you? What sticks in your mind the most after that event?
Ethan Ewing.
Yeah.
Ewing.
Yeah, that was that rail game that he was showing on that wave. That was amazing.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's just like poetry.
And he got rewarded for it.
Yeah.
So it was not all about all the tube ridings or all big airs or whatever, but actually got scored for real good rail work and carbs.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how like the judging criteria and format changes over the years as well. Where like, it felt like we went through that period where it was just Medina, Toledo, and like a bit of Italo just throwing these massive airs all the time, like on lock, and just the craziest rotations. And now it's starting to lean a bit more back to like the rail game and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. It went a bit kind of circus LA, didn't it, for a while? It was a little bit, I don't know, I kind of felt, there's only a few guys that can actually pull off these turns or those airs, you know what I mean? But it was, I'm a bit more of a fan of old school cars. So it's good to see. It's a mixture of everything. That's why Jbay was so good, because it actually, you, as a surfer, if you had any flaws, that's where it's going to show on a perfect canvas.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And it was like, that was pushing the guys to the limit because of the size as well. It wasn't, I mean, I saw, you saw everyone's face before they paddled out. They knew they were in for a flogging. You know what I mean? It was, it's so hard to get in there, and that last section that closes out, it was intense. But,
no, I think what happens with the scoring criteria is that the same thing that happened in snowboarding. There was a time when you did the hook and flip or whatever, and there was that time. But after a time, there's foam pits. There's an expectancy. Yeah, you're not gonna win a big air contest with a 360. Yeah, it's. And I think that happened with surfing as well. There was a time where, oh shit, that was massive, But now there's an expectancy that, all right, we expect at least something like this, So they drew it down again.
I think it also Jbay suits the carve surfers. Yeah. It's not a beach break. You know what I mean? So we all knew that the guys that charged were going to be the ones that got the goods. Got the freaking goods.
In that sense, also out the message that you have to be good at all 3-4 aspects. Yeah. You can win Rio with airs, but you cannot win Jbay with airs. You have to have more in your quiver.
You have to have a full plethora of tricks.
No, I think it's a really beautiful place where surfing's criteria is at now. Just you can never really expect any like structured format for each event or any place or time. It's you have to have variety as well to get through the heats and stuff like that, and not to peak too early. It's cool to see people really hold themselves back throughout an event and then just like go nuts from the quarters onwards.
Yeah.
Like that is just, you feel like you just on the edge of your seat the whole time. You have no idea what they're going to do next. So from like a perspective, what do you want to say, as a spectator's perspective, it's awesome.
What was yours? As Scott asked Per, you, Jaymin, what's the big stick?
What's your highlight from the event? What do you remember the most? What do you pick away from it?
What do I pick? I reckon probably there was a couple of times, there was a couple of floggings. There was one by, I remember one in my head. Jadson. It was Jadson.
Yeah, it sounds like you remember it in your head.
Frantically scrolling.
Scroll through the ground. Okay, we understand. It's been a long time
There
since...
was some awesome wipeouts. There was some, but no, seriously, Ethan's rail game in the final was insane. Italo was awesome on his backhand. It was just, it kind of felt like when those guys took off on those waves, it was like anything could have happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was, because being that big and that solid, it really kind of, it tests you. You get held under by like one of those waves, and you need 10 minutes to kind of get yourself back on track again. Those guys are getting 2, 3, 4 wipeouts. I mean, like 10-foot waves.
Did you like in the semis? Did you see just as the heat started, Jack Robinson and Kano Igarashi, they're paddling out. They got smoked by a set. Yeah. I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but like, you watch Jack and like Kano is even like 15-20 meters behind him, and he's doing the whole standing on your board like straight footed to sink it and then going down with it, because like it's 8 foot just rolling. And I just watched Jack duck dive on the one, and you think, okay, these lads are like, they're pros. They'll do this easy, like John style in the swimming pool and get under this. And then you just watch him, and he just got 15 meters just dragged down the reef. Yeah. You're just like, okay, right. It's then you have a new level of respect for it for sure.
I think the girls actually probably, as far as like standouts, they were killing it.
I would say the same. I'd say it's two things: Yago Dora's backhand and Tatiana's backhand. Like I'd actually say that it was more fun watching. Well, both the finals were insane, but just to see how even just Tatiana ramped it up from the semis to the finals, because I felt like it was kind of a shitty win in her semis over Carissa with that random interference, whether she played it or not. And just not even that, but her surfing wasn't really actually that great in that heat. But then the way she surfed in the final was so, like, it was sick. It was so smooth. There was no like downtime. There was no like skipping or pumping in between her turns. She was fluid, and she was in the pocket. Yeah, no, her turns really fit the wave. Yeah, and for a back, like, that's a fast wave as well. So I really like surfing on my backhand. So when people can make it look easy and do it fast, it's like, whoa. Yeah, it's pretty sick. For sure.
That's a surfboard, all right. Looks like a 57 Chevy I used to have.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel with Jaymin and Pear.
Maybe we move over to our fantasy wins for our All-Stars team, and find out who blitzed it, and then we'll come back and do a little heat by heat, and then
then chop them,
and then we good.
Alrighty then, Jaymin, if you say so.
Smooth. Smoothest of operators.
I think he was just processing what to say next, but okay, well, we're doing top 5 from the event.
Let's do we do top 10. We're gonna do it like
okay, go on then.
So the Reve All-Stars Fancy League. Scott, you said like 100 contenders in the league.
96 apparently.
That's pretty fucking good. Huh?
That's 100. We'll round it up to 100. That's good stuff.
It's 96, but we round up to 97.
Yeah.
That's good, huh? I think we have a new first-time winner actually. When we, how about you take it away, Jaymin, from going from 10?
Yeah, well, moving up from 11.
We're scared. Just fuck this. That's not 10.
From outside, what's actually relevant.
10. Okay, well,
all right. I got 10 and up, and then from 10 up, life's better with goats. Yeah, awesome. Life's better with goats. Valentine, he snuck into 9th place, straight back from his Maldivian explorations. Surf Diddley. We've shot up into 8th spot.
Yeah, we heard this name before.
Yeah,
but,
I think we've seen Surf Diddley.
Yeah, I think he's been diddling around.
I think they've added another D in their name as well.
Yeah, I think so. 7, Magan.
This is a new one. I can't remember seeing that name before in the top 10.
No.
Number 6, Jaeger's Fedora.
That one's been up there as well before, I'm pretty sure.
And it's funny we say that one and this one because we have no fucking idea who these people are.
Yeah. Seaside Master came in 5th.
It's been doing good, the Seaside Master, many times. I think.
Wow. Yeah. Seaside Master. There you go. All right. In 4th place, well, that's a familiar name there. The Mule. Sam Mule in 4th place. Yeah, Sam. Bendick. Seen that before.
Yeah.
Bendick's had a few runner-ups. In 3rd place. Nice one, Bendick. Black Kulf.
Yeah, do you know Black Gulf, by the way, the old cartoon character, Norwegian?
No, I don't.
It's like it's a octopus environmental
Octopus.
octopus.
Wow. I like octopus. And in 1st place, Captain Cook.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
Congratulations.
You think it's an Aussie?
Well, I don't know. Captain Cook, I've been psychoanalyzing this name, and I'm thinking, fair enough, Captain Cook. We love a Captain Cook. I mean, everyone loves Captain Cook. And
But he spelled captain with a K.
but yeah, like
it's
Maybe he's done
the
it backwards
it's the
around.
reverse.
no, well, Cook is actually with a C.
Yeah, but
it's the reverse.
Oh, yeah.
It's CK switch. It's
no, it's a CC. It should be a CC.
It's Captain Cook.
Oh, there you go. We have a Sherlock Holmes
do.
sitting here.
We have a Norwegian that's just screwed it up with the spelling. It's not English at all.
Yeah.
So Captain Cook.
Well done, Captain Cook.
Yeah, well done.
Sorry for tearing strips, but yeah.
Per has if you're listening to this, send us a message, and Per will give you a little something.
a goodie bag.
Excuse me, what?
a little kiss behind the ear.
But
Tissue.
yeah, congratulations. We have to figure out who you are in case you want some of the grand prizes from our amazing sponsors.
We still haven't given away the ass face tissue, have we? The tissue.
Tissue. I know you're 2 meters tall, dude, but a beach towel is not a tissue for you, is it?
He was thinking about something else.
Oh, we're back to...
Yeah. Oh, he told us it'd been a while.
I've been
Anyways,
away,
yes.
and then the dad jokes come straight back out
just
again.
goes straight back again.
Shit.
But now we still have that amazing beach towel from Lofoten Surf Center, and we also have other goods and stuff from surfed.no and surfshop.no.
Yeah.
So, and we are very appreciative to have these good people around and supporting us.
We should do the top 10.
Well,
Top
first of all, since we have mea culpa, we have to go to the cross and say, hey, I think most people want to know, how did we end? Yeah, and of course Jaymin already kind of invited himself to say that he went number 11. Yeah, just outside Jaymin, but still good. I'm following it quite closely on number 13. And let me see on that page here. Plingy, she's number 15. Wait a second, there's another guy. Where is he? Oh, there's not on that first page. Let me see.
If you're trying to drag it out,
I'm just looking
just
for...
hurry the hell up.
I'm just looking for somebody.
What
side are you on, Scotty?
Oh, fuck off.
What number am I looking for?
I'm gonna pull a
gonna
pair excuse here.
Scotty,
I was working hard, was grinding, making
There's
money.
Surfer Gay is on number 45.
What happened though? You didn't get your team in.
I didn't follow it. I think it actually could have been the day that I was taking the boat over to Denmark and I didn't have Wi-Fi on the boat.
King Jung Reve, the man in the tent who actually doesn't give a shit about it, is on number 55.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
that's not bad.
That's pretty terrible,
That's
huh?
not bad. That's pretty
So
good.
Eva beat you with 1 spot on 56.
I fucking beat Scott.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you can call that beating Scott,
It's a
but it is a victory.
grand beating.
It's basically just running him over
Yeah.
after he's already been run over.
It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it.
It's funny. I mean,
If you finish it.
50. This is pretty abysmal results, I would say, Scott. And you've been doing so good as well.
Scott's been second forever.
Averages is what matters.
Hey, let's look at the overall though.
Hang on one sec. There we go.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, I felt like I was just in the back room for a minute there.
I turned you down for some reason. I don't know why.
It's okay. I'm pretty boring to hear.
But I mean, I'm going to say one thing. I was having so much fun with the competition, even though I did shit. So there was like a theory early on that Daniel Malo said on the beach that
he was a little depressed because his team wasn't so good. He didn't want to really follow along anymore.
Yeah, I had the opposite experience. The competition was great.
Daniel is not in for the sport. He's just in for the win.
He's just in for the shit towel.
Yeah, but I mean, he's
a super competitive.
But I mean, if the event is good, then it's no biggie. But I mean, if the event is shit and then your team is doing shit, I mean, that's a double.
Yeah, no, exactly. But
I don't know. I feel like if you have your team do really crap and then that's it, they're knocked out, and you watch it, and then it's actually the surfing's sick and the waves are sick. Like it I guess it just depends who you are as a human. But for me, it's like if the comp is sick, fuck it.
The thing is, it's always nice to have one or two guys make it through to the final. I mean, as long as you got a couple of guys coming closer to the end, you're good.
Let's take an actual example. Let's say Huntington Beach would be one of the places, yeah?
Yeah.
And you pick a team, and your team is falling out after the first round, completely annihilated. You wouldn't watch fucking Huntington Beach, but you would watch Jbay. Yeah, because it's fucking on, you know. You want to see amazing surf.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I'm falling off. Is like, if it's a shit competition,
you know what? But I think to myself, I had more fun watching the longboarders and the duct tape ride shitty waves because I'd never seen competitive longboarding in shite. And it was actually interesting.
Yeah, but they actually can surf a little bit more on shite waves than shortboarders can.
Well, they get more speed, and you know they make the waves, the sections a little bit more. But you know what? The Huntington song, is it just me, or that Huntington song was driving me crazy? Have you been watching Huntington?
I've been watching Huntington. Yes, I have.
I wish I had it recorded, but I do have. Did anyone remember this bad boy?
That was a sick one, wasn't it?
The Jbay song, which is pretty awesome. Do you remember?
It gives me a PTSD flashback to a TV show we were watching back in the days.
Yeah, and you know what the beautiful thing was about that song is that it was actually. The good people, you know what happened?
But who the fuck is this guy that writes all these lyrics? It's
actually, you know what? It's the good people from the Lonely Island. It is. It's the same band.
You're on your own on this one, mate. You're on your own. Like, I'm not jumping in that boat. Like, if I can get like one of those polls on Instagram, and you can see if the average day human agrees with you.
Lonely Island were in there for sure. I reckon they got the job to
make shit
come up with that.
Regardless, they really have a way of picking their
songs.
They
are a bit of a
quite honestly, all these break music thingies, except for the one that was Cuban inspired, that was actually, and that's the first one we reacted on, and it turns out to be the best one of
the
all
salsa
of them.
one, or whatever.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
salsa one,
the one with no singing.
But I have a feeling that since it's now American corporate surfing, that the artist is connected somehow, maybe the son or one of the CEO people on top of there is like, I give the boy a chance. Yeah, he can make the
kid doing Arbeitsüger.
Uncle, look, I've got this computer and I can make music. I'm gonna be a rap star. Yeah, we can make you big.
What are you guys speculating
we have to suffer for that shit.
All I'm saying is that if they got a decent a band to play that, they'd have to pay rights. They've obviously gone, let's go into Google free music. And free music that brainwashes people, and you feel like actually leaving the event site during the gap. I actually found myself leaning over and like putting the volume down just because I was thinking I can't listen to it one more time.
But then I played one more time.
Yeah, but then I kept playing. Yeah,
they don't stop playing it.
There was a slight meltdown. But I just thought I'm not going to let them win like that.
No.
You know, I'm just
But you know what?
You want to play mental games?
You know what I'm really excited for Jobs?
What?
To listen to the next song.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, it becomes like a thing for me now. It's like, I wonder how they can crack up this. How can I take it to the next level?
How can they take it to the next level? Jesus. You know what? That's, yeah.
They got you, pal.
It's
And then Trestles, Jaymin. Trestles. It's going to be a firework thing of
Oh no!
break music.
It's going to be explosion of just.
When did it get to
Free
this?
It's going to get a mashup of all the songs they play for the
maybe.
year.
Get all the Triflon songs from Bells.
Anyway,
you know what I mean?
We can make an own podcast on that music for another day.
Yeah, because
special.
that takes up most of our time just talking about which
No, but
music
seriously,
each comp has had.
You know how many ad breaks like
It's
in
part
between
of my
heats?
competition experience, okay?
I've heard that song like 55 times.
Then you just
You're
need-
asking us, what is the most vibrant thing you remember from the competition?
That
For us, it
fucking
is the
song.
fucking music.
It's not the fucking music then. Something that's surfing orientated. I don't know, like an interference or someone getting slapped or something like that.
No.
Oh, the music is tiring.
The intro,
You're
the segues. Let's wait for the next heat.
We're 50 years old. We cannot tune out like you youth can.
I want to just
we
listen.
can tune out.
Then you
You
just
remember,
need
like,
to go to
is
the.
it Facebook or one of them where you just it's a pulled back shot of the lineup or the setup. They just like play it, but there's nothing in the background. You can just hear the waves.
Mm-hmm.
I want that one back, dude.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's
the 10
for
minutes
the
before the
post-show.
morning call.
Yeah, that's the post show and
I
the
know,
pre-show.
but can they just like maybe? I mean, there must be shit happening when the commercial comes on. It's not like the waves just stop and they're going, "All right, boys." You know,
All I can picture now is Jaymin getting more excited to watch the 15 minutes before the comp just to hear the waves in the background, and then when the comp actually turns on, he's like, I'm done. I'll go for a walk.
But going back to the how shit we did, Scott. Did you not? Play
I didn't change. No.
You did nothing.
But all right,
nothing.
we'll jump back. Yeah,
I
whatever.
kind
You
of
can
did-
say whatever you want. I did nothing.
I kind of follow it, and I made one spot better than you. That's pretty shitty, isn't it?
yeah, that is
That-
pretty shit.
Yeah,
You guys can
I'm
cry
not.
about this
I'm not
later.
gonna. I'm already down in the dirt, so I'm not gonna drag you with me. You're already there, pretty much 2 spots next to me. So you're already,
one.
You already dug your own grave. So
It's
no,
going to
I
be
didn't.
overall.
But-
You're 10th, right?
Overall, he is number 10.
It's not how you start the race; it's how you finish it.
Is Scott number
so
10?
you're starting.
Still top 10.
Your end game is from 10 to 1.
We're looking at overalls.
But
Actually,
the good news here for us idiots is we're all on the same page on this one.
Yeah, on the Reve All-Stars Fancy League.
you know what I
overalls.
can't. You know what's really crazy? For the first time, we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we totally agree that we're on the same page.
No, I'm not on the first
But we're
page.
not including Eva. Or we are including Eva.
Ah.
Yeah, you know, he wants to be semi-included, so...
Do you know what? I'll give it to him because he's only He's on 27th
Didn't you-
position. I think you are.
yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, you're 27th. So
Yeah, but I've been dropping down. I've been on page
So
1 for a while.
overall,
you have been on page number 1. Sneaky.
overall, I'm on page... Yeah, I'm on the 20th place.
You're just on the page, and then Valentine is just in front of you, and then you got side boobs just behind me. Mahalo's there.
Yes,
Silas
Murphy
is
there.
there. This
And then-
this is a heavy first page, eh?
On,
Okay, go on then, quickly do the top 10, and then we'll.
Yeah, all right. The top 10. All right. Okay, Smurfer 69.
Scott, number 10.
Scotty.
Beautiful.
We're free falling down the right.
I fell down the rankings
Yeah.
pretty hard. It hurt, but
Put it this way:
I'll come back.
if it was the qualifying series, I don't think he's going to get on tour.
But yes, Iagos Fedora in front of you. And then comes Mr. Matley. Tina Ulf.
The friend of
Number
Side
7.
Boobs.
CZ Master. Also, there's a collection of the ones that always are in the
Yeah.
on the first page.
Teenup as well and CC Master.
Captain Cook
Mainstays.
number 5. Dingo 8. His baby.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Number 4, that's good. That's
Speculation.
top 5, mate.
Speculating.
Top
Yeah.
5.
No babies.
You're
were-
in the qualifying for the Champions
I
League
know.
there.
I'm going in. I'm in top. Yeah, I'll sneak in and
The Coconut is number 3.
Guru.
Coconut's gone.
Bendik number
That is
2.
Guru.
Yeah, isn't it
Ooh,
Guru?
yeah, I think so.
She won the last round. I think wasn't that Coconut?
That's Guru.
Yeah.
Yeah, Guru.
We got a present for you as well.
Pavarotti Walter is leading the pack with 5,400
The
points. pretty
mysterious
much
Mr.
straight
Pavarotti.
out. So between number one with 5,400 and I'm on 4,950. I can do that in 2 competitions.
Did you say number 2,
I can do
Benedict?
that.
I didn't
Yes,
hear
I
Benedict.
did.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think the highest I've seen someone get more or less is like 750 to maybe 780 points. So you would have to do really, really sick. And not only would you have to have your
I understand. I understand that's good that
fair
everybody
enough.
else has.
I don't want to explain to you. I just thought that
Yeah.
people in position number 20th just needed a little bit of a reminder.
Yeah.
You're lucky you're on this first page. You and Valentine and
People that
Daniel and
actually-
Silas are down there in the bottom 15 sweating it out.
Yeah, exactly. In the hot box.
What I love now is that Scotty is so fired up now. He knows he has to present
And I
at the
have
jokes.
all
He has
the
to
time in the
perform- he has
world.
to-
You've got all the pressure on you.
You really
I'm
have to
just sitting
pull
here
in.
farting, mate.
I have no
you have
pressure
to
at all.
backdoor that lip.
All your whole body language right now talks.
No,
Gonna smash you motherfuckers.
You're tripping. You're tripping. No,
No,
it's
that's good. I love this.
Also a shout out to Egersund Surf on the bottom, 96th place in the overalls, and he or she actually has points. So they've tried at some point.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But it is the old cliche of participating.
yeah.
You know, and hey, maybe we're out of our randomness. We're gonna give the last ones some prizes too. If the other prizes are not gonna picked up, inspiration.
We should actually do just like a random draw for everyone. That's actually
We can
put
do
a
that
team.
too.
Yeah, that's actually a good
That's
idea.
cool.
Even if you're a loser, you can be a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to jump back to a couple of heats on Jbay,
I
or
was
you
thinking,
want to go?
since Jbay was such a friggin' awesome event, but it has been a few weeks, I was thinking we'll jump straight to the quarters,
Yeah.
right? And we'll just have a little look at those faces, those lovely faces. There was the Jack Robinson Semi Pupo. I was actually Semi Pupo had some incredible heats. He charged out there. He really proved himself in those big waves. It was a really good performance, but in that heat against Jack, he just really didn't get the waves. The whole time, the surf was pretty friggin' huge, especially on those middle and last days. It was actually,
Have to be so selective out there as well.
Yeah, you kind of think to yourself, like, few of these guys had to surf. Was it twice? It might have even been. I'm just trying to think in the final. Whoever was in the final, I think Jack might have had to surf 3 times on the last day, because from the quarters,
Yeah, if you jump into heat 2 then.
exactly. So Italo against Kanoa, that was a close one.
That was super close.
Jeez, that was close. Yeah, look at those scores. You know, we're talking about half a point there. Italo getting he got the 9. Yeah.
Dropped a heavy 9.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that was a big. There was some massive sets in that heat. Then moving on, Yago Dora. He had Yago just against Conor O'Leary, but Yago the whole event I thought just really impressed me.
Yeah.
I was expecting, you think of Yago, he's been off with the injury for a long time. The aerial he kind of pulled in El Salvador just blew me away because he said that was like the first one he'd done. He did it in competition, and then I was still thinking to myself, it doesn't really suit him. He's on his backhand. He's a little bit more kind of knock-kneed. I know he charges Yago, but he wasn't the guy that kind of stood out, when you looked at the draw, above your Jack Robinsons, your Geordies, your Ethans, you know what I mean? But Yago smashed it on his backhand. He was getting just drawing out and just like snapping so tight in the lip on some of those huge waves. So good to see. Heat 4 in the quarters was Geordie and Ethan Ewing. Geordie failed to deliver. Ethan was. He was just meat and potatoes that heat. And I remember it was a little bit heat on, heat off as far as the waves went.
Yeah.
So you see a couple of these heats, like the first heat and the fourth heat, the scores were quite similar. But then you see like the second and third, the waves in those heats.
Yeah, it's when those lulls kind of back off a bit and it starts pulsing a bit. And
sometimes you look at the overall heat scores and you can see, which heats, really shined. And as far as the waves were, moving on the semi-finals, Jack Robinson, Kanoa. I was thinking Jack Robinson all day, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I like as soon as the heat kicked off, pretty much. He was my power surfer, and from start to finish, I just kind of thought those waves suited him. Kanoa did well. He charged just like anyone else who paddled out in those huge waves. But it just kind of feels like he's been consistent, but in the early part of the year, he's kind of gone off the boil. And in the last 3 events, this is the one that he kind of came back and got a semi-final there. Yeah, definitely. And I think this was a really important, obviously, comp for him as well, because they're right on that cut-off mark now. Exactly. And he's only about 1,000 points away from. He's
in 6th place.
He's literally about 1,200 points away from Griffin, and Griffin's in 5th.
It's pretty tight for 5th and 6th, so it'll be super tight. Him and Griff for the maybe the.
But his surfing place looked a little bit off in that semi-final. If you saw the waves, they had quite a lot of a bit of a side chop in them, like a bit of a ripple, a wave in the face, and you saw it a couple of times. He went to do his wraps and his cutbacks, and he was getting hung up on high up on the lip.
Yeah.
Whereas Jack seemed to be
able to drive through his turns.
Yeah,
more,
and he seemed like he was timing it and kind of hitting those bumps rather than getting caught off by them. So there was a huge difference. I felt like in the level there. But
when you think about where Jack grew up in Western Australia with those big solid windy waves, it actually looked, some of those waves looked a bit like North Point in WA. So it does get windy, it gets kind of choppy. I think those conditions, those that Jack has to deal with them or grew up dealing with them in Western Australia. So he was he proved that he was that he's the man to watch, and he beat Kanoa. Heat 2, the semis with Yago and Ethan Ewing.
That was actually a sick heat to watch.
Wasn't it? It was awesome.
That was awesome. And loads of times when Yago took off, I thought to myself, this wave looks marginally smaller than what Ethan was taking off on, and it doesn't look like it had a lot more foam on the face, and it just didn't look like he was going to get it. But he would do these massive hacks right in the pocket and these cutbacks, and then all of a sudden it was as if the wave just kept growing and getting bigger, when it was rolling down the point. And some
of them definitely did that. I don't think the biggest ones were actually the best ones. So those in between ones that have the double up and actually power through on the inside where it's getting hollow. I mean, the wave is so top to bottom. So
it's awesome. My favorite is when they have it at ocean level. It's as if someone's standing on the beach and they're filming it from there, and you see how much water is just draining off the bottom, and it's so thick and it's so steep. So for them to go so vert in there, and then to come out of that turn with speed, and then to kind of make all those sections, it's ridiculous.
It's cool. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but when they slow it down and do the super slow replays, it's crazy to see, especially at the Jbay event, how often their board is just in the air. They're not even touching the water.
I was going to think about it.
Every time they go up and hit the lip, when they have
the fins are completely released.
Yeah, and then it's they drop. And then they drop back into the wave. Half the time, if you look, you get close up on that slow mo, you can see their boards are out of the water, landing, and through the bottom turn. Each time they're whether they're taking off late, even a lot of them even on the takeoffs were getting kind of caught up, and then getting themselves onto the board, and they're just kind of free falling,
it's almost I describe it almost like manualing, in your skateboarding, you're doing a manual, and it's the same thing. You're releasing the fins completely. You're coming down with the lip.
You're just holding a tiny little bit,
and then they re-engage, aren't you? And then the nose comes back down and taps the face, and it's just gives you goosebumps when you see that.
It's almost like just the tips of their fins are kind of just keeping their board straight. You know what I mean? But anyway, awesome heat. Yago surfed really well, but Ethan, Yeah, he had that
9.07. That was an absolute screamer.
Yeah.
Like his rail game is like you can't really. You can't criticize it. It's
you couldn't have picked a better fit for Jbay, really. Yeah,
it's like Mick Fanning, but just on steroids. It's insane.
It's like the Mick Fanning with Andy Irons mixed into it.
Yeah,
yeah. So the final came down to Jack Robinson, Ethan Ewing, and as we all know, Ethan came through the win, but
smashed it.
We probably don't remember, or we probably forget actually how close the final was.
I actually watched it I think I watched it 2 nights ago, and I remember it being a screamer, but that was it was so back and forth.
Yeah,
and it pretty much was anyone's game, and I can't remember if Jack did this kind of crazy air reverse that actually ended up looking like more of a board slide, and it was so freaky looking, and he didn't make it, I don't think, but damn, the innovation.
When you think about it though, looking at those scores, it's like half a point.
It was anyone's game.
It's so ridiculous how close that is.
It would have been so funny to see if they gave a heat 10 more minutes or just 15 more minutes. Who would actually win?
Yeah.
But no, that was awesome. Should we hop over to the women's then?
Just gonna say, didn't you mention Ethan before this event as a possibility, or was it the other one?
I think
Callum, was it Callum you said, or was it?
It was definitely no. Ethan was the one. He was going to be the standout for sure. Yeah. But I think that was everyone knew that everyone was actually waiting to see this, because the whole time, the last half of the year, Ethan's basically he's come from. He's basically built himself up. He's come from 10 to 15 on the ratings up to third. He's second. Is third or second?
Yeah, he's third.
Yeah. So he's been full steam ahead. So it's really been, it was. Everyone knew he had a win in him. He was good enough, and he surfed well enough, and he was in form enough to take out a win. But when everyone saw the conditions and how big it was going to be at Jbay, I think it was basically it was him and Jack from the start. I thought they were odds-on favourite, those two to take it out.
How about the ladies?
Philip Polito was he was. It was close, but it was good to see the Aussies win. Over in the ladies,
we'll jump to the semis.
Yeah, we'll jump to the semis. You take that, Scotty.
Oh, it's all right. Tyler, absolutely, in my opinions, walked the park with Stephanie. I heard rumours on a different podcast that apparently she has devil's eggs and it made her stomach feel bad or something, but she didn't look like she was surfing as good as what she was in the quarters. Nowhere near.
What's Steph and that?
Yeah, no, that was Steph. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she had an absolute smoker. Yeah, she said she had some bad eggs or something, and I don't know if that is true or not, but Tyler did absolutely smash that.
It sounds like a shit ass excuse.
It doesn't it? That's what people.
Legs.
That's what people are speculating.
Tyler had the scissors; they were sharp, and she'd scissored Steph to death.
Yeah.
Anyway. Warning: there is adult humor coming into this.
Well, what are you preparing on?
The warning comes after the joke. That's a good one.
I'm just preparing on people that this could get worse. It's a slippery slope. It's going downhill from here.
We all know Tyler was.
Are you getting complaints from the audience?
Nah, nothing personal. Not that I know.
Okay.
Check your DMs.
He too.
Anyway, jumping over to heat number 2, Carissa Moore and Tatiana Western Webb. This really wasn't much of a heat. It was pretty much Tati just trying to get as close to as 10 as she could, because I don't really know. I watched this over a couple of times, and I don't really know if Carissa was not expecting to get an interference or just could not get out the way. But it felt really, really dumb from her position to go for that wave, and then to watch Tatiana paddle, and then still kind of I felt like she could have straightened out. The second that Tati had already kind of semi-commit, I would have tried to kick out.
Oh yeah, you could see Tati thinking to herself, "Oh my god!" She's thinking, "I'm just wait." She's just sitting there with water dripping out of her mouth, thinking, "I'm just waiting for Carissa to fuck up so I can jump on it."
I watched it in a post show. It was on a post interview. She was all like, "Oh, I didn't want to win like that and whatever." But I'm not sure about that stuff. I feel like
everybody has seen the Apple TV series, so everybody knows her business about her business.
The thing is, you know what? In 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks after the contest, no one's thinking, oh, Tahiti burned Carissa. They're just thinking Tahiti won.
Yeah, that's the only thing that sticks. And do you know what? Like,
I'd do it to you, Scotty. Like without.
I wouldn't give you the chance, mate.
No, I'm just saying.
I'd be on the inside.
It is a world title competition, you know. So
absolutely. And I think,
as I say, it's not all hippie flowers and whatever drinking mushroom tea.
Mushroom tea.
It's fucking but it is what it is, you know. And Carissa's been around long enough to know better.
Absolutely. No, it brings a bit more drama into it, and it also actually keeps the top of the predators on the rankings like on their feet, because all it takes is for one thing like that. Like, I think Carissa was already locked in to qualify for the final 5 or before that anyway, but the fact is that for someone else that could have been a really, really bad position to have been in. So no, I think
Carissa was winning the heat, and then she got her score taken off, and then because you look at the scores, it was Carissa had the highest score, and I think the one. I watched Tatiana's waves. They were terrible. Well, they weren't terrible, but like when you watch the way she surfed in the final, it was like a completely different. It was completely different. It was completely different heat. Yeah.
So like I was so sick to see actually Tyler and Tatiana going back to back. I'm not the biggest fan of Tyler's style, but damn, like they both surfed amazing. So it's all personal preferences and opinions, but I
would have preferred to see him going front to front, but anyway, that's just me.
I forgot to give the warning of the dad jokes and adult humor. So
do you have to do that for the finals as well? Are you doing that for every heat?
Should we, like, every time we start the podcast, we just give a brief like warning introduction, just like this is PG-18.
If somebody's listening to this, that's part of the reason they are. That's what I feel.
I don't think anyone really knows what it is. So by you bringing attention to it, it's just highlighting.
No, you did the reverse psychology here. No.
You're pointing out shit here. We're just saying scissors.
Did we get it?
I don't know what you're reading into that.
I just think it's awesome.
But apparently it's adult stuff.
You two smirking at each other, it just gives it away.
I just think I reckon Tyler's awesome. I reckon she's one of the best women surfers. She's an ambassador for the sport. And
sharpest scissors in the shed.
Yeah, she's a fur trader, basically. But that's cool. We're all good with that. And a bit of scissoring every now and again didn't hurt anyone. Maybe like a bit of chafing in the legs, by the thigh, but we can all live with that. We've all had that before. Well, on a hot day in the sun.
If Tahiti had
those polyester shorts.
If Tahiti had a bad conscience about winning the semifinals, she definitely made up for that in the finals.
Absolutely, I can concur. That was good surfing.
Yeah.
No, that was seriously. As I said earlier, it was the thing that stuck in my head a bit. It was massive waves.
Yeah.
And just ripped them apart. So well done, Tahiti.
Well done.
Smashed it.
Tahiti Wagon Wheel did all right.
So ranking-wise, Carissa is leading the women's on first. Tahiti jumped 3 spots.
Yeah.
She came up to 3rd place now. Joanna Faye on 2nd still. And Steph is on 4th, while Brisa Hennessy went down to 5th. So these are the...
And I'm pretty sure that Carissa and Joanna Faye are locked in. So regardless of the results now in Chopu, those two will be at Trestles.
Well, is Lakey completely out?
No, Lakey's not completely out.
But Lakey is like 1,000 points behind Brisa.
Yeah, Tyler cut up 3 points as well.
So what I'm saying is Carissa and Joanna Faye are locked in. They've made it through regardless.
Carissa and Joanna Faye. I understood Brisa. I was like...
No. I said Carissa.
Yeah.
So then it just leaves Tatiana, Stephanie, Brisa, and I think Lakey and Tyler Wright.
Yeah.
And I think it goes quite far, actually. I can't remember.
A lot has to go wrong on the top for them to...
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the way that they've all been surfing consistently. And, I think that's if we look at the next event, which obviously we're jumping a bit forwards, but it kind of ties in well with what we're talking about now, is that whatever conditions we get for Chopu is really going to dictate how far certain women and men go through in these competitions, because I can't see Stephanie Gilmer looking into a backhand.
You know
tube
what?
ride
I was just looking at the rankings. You got Caroline Marks, who is
charges.
Dude, she's, as far as like her and Sally, they charge so hard. Gabrielle Bryan as well, super charges. Tyler. I'm not saying the girls in the top 5 don't, because we all know Tati and Joanne do as well at Carissa. But it's just that Caroline and Sally have got nothing. They have basically, as far as
I don't think
pressure, there is zero pressure.
But I don't think they won't make the top 5 regardless. They can
of
make,
course they won't. But
they can make an impact.
As far as like ruining it for anyone,
Absolutely.
and opening up the top 5 for the field for someone who's like Lakey or even Tyler. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. They can definitely make an impact.
Sneak into that 5th place or 4th place and still, you know what I mean? Then they're a world title contender. Yeah, so it's tight, mate.
And that's going to be an interesting part on the guys' side as well, because so much speculation goes around in the different podcasts around the world. Is Felipe's injury a little excuse ticket to maybe not have to go to Chopes? And but is he able, or would he sacrifice the first place by?
We spoke about this pair
ditching Chopes.
Was this a power play because he knows it's going to be so big? Oh look, hey.
Or is it more like
I looked at the forecast. It doesn't look like it's going to start off by being massive. I think it was. They start on the 11th, and I'm pretty sure on the 11th, Magic.
It's 5 days from now, right?
Yeah, and I know things can change, but I'm just going off what Magic Seaweed is predicting, and I'm pretty sure they were saying about 1.5 meters at, I can't remember if it was 20. Let's say the 11th. That is, they were saying here, primary swell at 1.6 meters at 10 seconds. So I am no tech head, and I'm very unsure as what it actually needs before it gets really massive over there. Like, I think after 2-3 meters it starts to get pretty solid.
I think it's more about if you get that solid period, no big swell,
it's going to be dead offshore.
It doesn't have to be massive.
So no, so for example, if it is small and like,
they're going to send the girls in, aren't they?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? If they send the girls in first, then it's kind of all the rippers. It's going to be like a left-hander, just 3 snaps or 3 quick maneuvers as blow the tail out as much as you can, and maybe on the men's side chuck an air in at the end. But I think that
it's Chope, so we'll see. I don't know if they're that lucky. Yeah, I mean, it's not really an airwave, is it? They're not going to get really scored for airs. It's going to be a barrel.
Absolutely, if there's barrel fest, but like if
but
it's
I know
small,
if it's smaller, of course, then it changes everything.
It's big time. So
that's going to be an interesting one. If it's if it's a meter and a half, 10 seconds contest. That's
what's the windows? We're looking at the window, so we're kicking off. Actually,
10 days, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's the 11th or 12th to the 22nd.
That's it.
Yeah, well, if we're looking in regards to the top 5, Jack Robinson and Philippe Toledo are locked in. Whether Philippe does actually go to Chope or not, I don't know. I think people like Jack and a few other people are just going to be looking at this event and just like watering at the mouth, thinking this is it. Especially when Jack is probably coming off a high of like 2 back-to-back wins and in the 2nd place, and like the back half of this year has been awesome for him.
Yeah,
it's been really good.
So it's coming down so tight to the wire, you know. It's what's really cool. It's cool to have a couple of different players in the game. We've all kind of used to the Medinas and Italos and Felipe's shining and having the same 3 guys the last couple of years. Kind of dominating.
This is a huge cocktail mix.
If you look at the points, Felipe's got 53,000 points and Jack's got 48.
Yeah.
So Jack's if Chopes would be pumping, Jack is one of the contenders to be in the final.
Yeah, you know that.
Oh, for
sure.
You
know that. So if Felipe would say no to that contest, there's a big chance for him to lose the first first spot. Yeah, because it's only 5,000 points. If Jack goes into finals, there's a good chance he gets away with 10,000 points. And then Felipe would be on second place.
This is all speculation.
Should we put a bet down then? If
Felipe goes or doesn't go, he'll turn up.
In my head, I'm thinking he's going to turn up. He's never won a world title. He seems more than hungry than ever. Like this is not the time now to pull out. If you pull out now, you're just showing the world that you're actually you're not a well-rounded surfer, because that is.
We'll just see how bad that injury is. You know what I mean? And I kind of think to myself, we all give Felipe a little bit of a hard time. As far as everyone knows, it's not his strength, charging massive waves. He'd paddle. But dude, we've all seen him go out in huge waves. I think it's the difference between, like with John in the big waves, completely owning him, and that's the only kind of wave John and Kelly want to surf, those huge fucking mountains, Whereas Felipe, he does it because he has to. He doesn't do it because he loves doing it. You know what I mean?
It is like a sexual thing. Some people just relax with meat hooks in their back hanging from the ceiling,
Yeah.
That's the guys that love fucking 15-foot waves, just smashing the reef into pieces, and being stuck in between.
But at the same time, he's had super good performances. Like this year in Hawaii, he had a couple of good results. Do you know what I mean? He's still getting done okay at chokes.
If I would talk to Toledo, because Toledo is a part of a business. Yeah. He is part of a business, So there's money involved. There's a lot of stuff involved, And you look at the points. You can say, all right, Felipe, if you would drop Jobs, there's a chance for you to end up on second place, But Trestles is a more suitable way for you. You can smash anyone at Trestles with the way you surf. So you would start in second place. You have to surf one competition, two rounds against the third one, and then the final. And you could win those two, Felipe. But there's a big chance if Jobs is on, if it's big, we pull you out, because there's a big chance for you not to go far or to injure yourself so much that you actually cannot surf the finals. So that's what I would say if I was his manager, It's his decision at the end of the day to decide what he wants to do. But I would say to him, you know what? If it's going to be a shitty small competition with crappy waves, go surf it. Of course, take the points.
So basically, as a gambling man, what you've got is you either surf an extra heat on finals day, or you take the chance of going out in huge waves, and you can either, one, prove yourself. In years to come, we can all say, well, Felipe proved himself at Chopes and won on a 15-foot swell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or we can say he kind of opted out, but then who knows? Then he wins against Ethan in subpar waves at Trestles and takes out the win, and and proves us all wrong. And then, we all like to think that, as we love the sport, and we all are, we're all backseat drivers when it comes to what the pros should be doing on tour. The level of these guys is so crazy, and it's getting even more crazy with the likes of Hurdy, all these guys coming up. It's so intense, and it's kind of to look at Felipe and actually pick faults with him and talk about his ability, like his inability to charge in massive waves, is just so friggin' ridiculous when it comes to his level of surfing. It's almost like beating someone, like beating Schumacher down because he came 0.5 of a second behind, you know what I mean, whoever, Peugeot. But you know what I'm saying? It's like we're calling someone out who is still at,
dude,
I just feel he gets a hard rap. Felipe gets a hard rap. He charges, mate, but he just doesn't excel in big waves. That's the only thing he needs to do to prove himself as a full, all-rounded, insane
full package.
And then I think there is also maybe a little bit different mentality in the Brazilian camp than in other camps. Yeah, you're an Aussie, you grew up with that, it's fairness, but go charge hard, But if you go back a couple of years and we remember Pipeline finals, Medina dropping in, taking away a wave. Wasn't that Italo?
It was Kaio.
It was, yeah.
Kaio Belly.
Drop in.
Yeah, you could hear Daddy from the beach. Take that wave away from him, you know? And
burn him, actually.
You know? And everyone was like, what the fuck? And they come back, it's like, dude, it's about the world title, you know? It's about becoming a champion.
Basically they were saying, we're just playing the game.
Yeah.
We're doing everything within the rules to win.
Exactly.
And I think the problem is a lot of guys, that's the, they're built up, Medina has 105%. And that extra 5% that he has compared to everyone else is the bit that makes him make decisions like that. We wouldn't burn each other like that just because you think to yourself,
But Felipe is going to show up in Chopes.
Yeah.
He will show up. And if it's surfable for him, he'll surf it. If it's too massive, he'll be pulling out. Either, you can sit there and lose a heat just by sitting out there. We've
actually seen him out there in huge chopes and he's just sit wide and you know what I mean? We saw it, the same thing happened in Margaret River some years back, surfing the box with Jack Robinson. We kind of just saw it really showed because there was such a difference in scores and it was just like one was charging and one wasn't. Blatantly, you could see he was kind of pulling back and he was nervous, you know what I mean? But like I said, at the end of the day, he gets a hard time because we're always matching him against guys that excel in huge waves. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas these guys on a 2-foot day at Bura, Felipe would rip him in. You know what I mean? In average conditions, this guy is the best in the world.
And I mean, he's on the number 1 on the chart.
Yeah, and that's why he's first in the world.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting, and we'll see what happens. So, it opens a door. Anyway, all I know is that Tahiti's going to be insane in 5 days time, or maybe 3 days time. Oh, how many days?
5 days. Maybe in 5 days, maybe in 10. Who knows?
Depending on my scissoring.
I was just kind of looking at, how quick are you going to...
But the window opens on the 12th. So from today on, it's about 5 days.
All right, who's
exactly 5 days.
Throwing this at you, Scotty? Who your picks for Chopes?
Ooh,
Should
I hang on? Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to see if they've even dropped the heats yet.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
Have they?
Yeah. All right.
The actual outer known. Kelly Slater's sponsoring it.
How crazy is that to think that Kelly's brand is so big that it can sponsor events like the Tahiti Pro now?
Well, I don't know because I'm thinking. I think didn't WSL buy his wave park and you know what I mean?
Did they?
So I reckon he's done a back deal and said, well, that's part of the deal. Maybe he gets his company name. Maybe he bought some advertising.
He also sponsored back in the days the Fiji Pro, didn't he? Outer known Fiji Pro.
Yeah, maybe back in the day.
Yeah. But
I'm just gonna. I think I've said this in a previous podcast, but I would really like I would kind of love Filipe Toledo to win a world title, but it's like I'm not sure what's going to happen with him in this event. If he rocks up, good for him, awesome. If not, I think Jack is going to smash this out of the park. I think he's just going to, even if it's 2 foot or if it's 15 foot, he's just going to absolutely just eat this up.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think if it's going to be big, like we know Chopes, if it's going to be big, he'll be on it. But if it's going to be small and maybe a little bit crappy, it's going to be Brazilian. But they throw from that shit. Yeah, and
hey, hang on, John's in the draw.
No, he's injured.
But it's not interesting.
Isn't he on a boat in the middle of the Pacific somewhere? Yeah, I guess he's. But hey, I hope he turns up. That would be nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to miss this. I think he's just going to come back next year, come back stronger.
Yeah.
But no, I would say men's side, I'm calling Jack Robinson. Women's side, I would either say Tatiana or Caroline Marks. And
I don't know
if all the...
If there was going to just be a wild card...
Is Medina
a random?
Is Medina on the start?
No, he's injured, isn't he?
Yeah. Who would you throw in as who has just the craziest chance of doing well that we're not thinking about?
He's out.
Yeah, Medina's out, I think.
We got Nathan Hedge.
Nathan Hedge is in the first heat with Jack Robinson. I don't know. I would say someone like, it'd be sick to see someone random like Caio Belli or Seth Moniz just come back and just have an absolute sick one. I think Seth is injured still at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, but we all kind of lean towards like him as being a Charger, so that could totally possible.
It would be sick if he was in it. But yeah,
like Matthew McGillray as well. He didn't come that far in Jbay, but the first heat he surfed, I was like, holy shit! He smashed Griffin a bit.
He got through a couple of rounds, and yeah.
So I could see him shooting in from the sideline somewhere.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking. You know what? I just kind of think maybe.
Go on then, quick.
I was thinking Miguel Pupo.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as a wild, you know what I mean? He's a Charger. Or like you said, Caio also is a Charger. It should be interesting to see. I was kind of backing, I think Jack's going to win, personally. And in the women's, I think maybe what's the name?
Scissors. You were about to say Scissors. Tyler.
No, I was going to say Tyler.
You were? Okay.
I was actually going to say Gabriella Bryant.
Okay.
She's a Charger. But we all know, actually, the wild card for Chopes on both sides. You got Hedgie, who actually did really well when he surfed. He got to the quarterfinals the last time. I think it was a John Gabriel Medina shootout, and they surfed massive waves. And Hedgie did really well. And also in the women's, I'm not sure exactly who the wild card was for the women, but apparently she's a complete. Vahina Fierro. If anyone goes into Instagram and has a look at the size of waves at Chopes that she pulls into. So if it's going to be big, expect the wildcards to do some damage. I think it's on really today at the moment. Actually, I think the trials started today. Yeah, so that'll be going. So I don't think it's going to be televised, but it'd just be interesting to see what conditions they score in the trials, and also obviously who does well and who wins, and if they get big conditions, which they usually do in the trials, and then when the main event comes, it goes crap. It'll be interesting to see if someone's really charging one of these guys, then they could totally be a train wrecker for a lot of these guys trying to get points for the finals. So be interesting to see.
Go on then, Per, you're the last one to shout out. What are you thinking?
Joanne Defay, she's a Charger. I think she's pretty fearless as well. So I can see her definitely go to the finals. And as I say on the guys side, it's for me if it's on, it's with Jack Robinson somewhere. But if it's a bit off, a tad away, I see Italo, for example, being able to. Italy loves tube riding as well as anyone, but he also has that extra. He can pull an air out. He can pull some good stuff out there, and I'll probably go with Italo.
Okay,
all right, interesting. Nice. What about you, big man?
Sorry, I'm drawing blanks actually. I feel so down on myself after the last competition.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah, dry your eyes, mate.
Well, you cannot go. It's very hard for you to go with the. I'll just go with the nation where the competition is.
South Africa. I mean, Jordi and they did okay, but I mean they didn't do.
Yeah,
Jordi did the quarterfinals. That's good for him. It was one of the better results this year.
It was a little bit better for Jordi, wasn't it?
Yeah, white chocolate.
Yeah, he did melt though.
But,
he melted some. He melted some guys in the way.
He melted pretty hard, actually. Yeah.
No, I mean, at the women's side, you think Johanna?
I have her a little bit as a.
Yeah, she's a Charger. She grew up in Reunion Islands. She's used to surfing big, heavy left hand like
ocean
barrels.
swell stuff.
Yeah. Like she's a complete. She's a complete favorite. Like not. I mean, there's a few other girls, but she's definitely up there with. One of the favorites for sure.
But I mean, how about the people doing good initially, like Baron, for example? Is he completely cold?
I don't know. I think he had a really good kickoff at Sunset, and for like maybe the first 2-3 events, and I think he's dropped off a little bit, but I would expect all.
Barron's a charger.
It's
I was
he's
gonna
Hawaiian.
say
Look, I'd be looking out for all the Hawaiians.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest with you,
Yeah, but I feel like with the first year rookies, it's coming to the end of the year, and I think for them it's a change of pace going into that part, and I feel a little bit fatigue has set in.
I mean, they
mentally. It's mostly mentally. It's not the physical part. The physical part they can do, but I think it's the mental part that's maybe.
Usually we would think that they would, if they did good 1 or 2 rounds, they would be happy with that and just keep on trucking like for the rest of it. But
Well, someone that's kind of slipped past us is the GOAT.
Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, now that I think back to it, the most gnarliest heats I remember are John and Kelly. Like, and obviously John and Medina, but like Kelly out there,
as far as experience goes,
he
for
knows.
Sure.
That's. I think we could have a little repeat of Pipeline here, and he just comes out as.
But then it has to be perfect there.
Yeah.
But he's a magician. He can pull out the bag.
What I think definitely is it's going to be the last time we'll see Kelly surf
A complete year.
Yeah.
Yeah, complete year. But I think he'll get wild cards and he'll show his shiny head.
Anyway, he's qualified for the next year, of course.
Yeah,
but,
Mr. Shane. He'll get his Mr. Shane out.
But I reckon his last event is going to be, his retirement is going to be Pipeline next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
And take up a whole spot on the tour just for like one event and then just...
Well, he's the GOAT.
He's already qualified, so he's taken up a spot anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
He's qualified already. So, and I think that's going to be his... if he can say farewell on Pipeline...
I don't think it's all we've seen of the GOAT, but I think... he knows he's going off to that lovely little pasture eventually.
Oh. He said in the interview there's other things for him to do as well. It's 30 years on tour.
Yeah. At one point it's enough.
He's been surfing longer than you've been alive, Scotty.
That's fucking crazy to think about. He's been winning world titles while I was popping out my mum. Seriously, I'm pretty sure 95 he won the world title that year. It was popping out my mum and he's winning world titles and he's still...
Still watching
himself. He hasn't aged at all. He's on those freaking banana smoothies and all that kind of healthy crap, and he still looks like he's 35. It's insane.
Did you say Seth was injured?
No,
for sure.
No, I didn't say Seth was injured. I know. I think Seth will serve. He has been injured.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe he's back for. No, actually, he surfed at Jbay. Yeah.
Yeah. He was back at Jbay.
He was back at Jbay.
There you go. Okay.
He didn't really do so good, but I think definitely Chopes is going to suit him way better.
Yeah, I was thinking so. But I'm just trying to find alternatives to Jacko. So
the thing is, can I just say this half of the year, we're talking about the top 5. A lot of those guys. That's the thing about this new type of tour is that the second half of the year, the guys that are sitting in those kind of like bottom qualification, you know what I mean? It kind of takes, they're just there as train wreckers, basically. They're just there like, trying to derail anyone in the top 5. But, for guys like Nat and, Jackson Baker and,
But
Jake Marshall, they're basically just cruising around. They have zero. They're not going to have any influence on what happens in that top 5. You know what I mean?
But they can and they can't, because if you think about it, they're low seeds. The top 5 are high seeds, so it's more of a chance of them hitting them up earlier on.
Of course,
yeah. But if you look,
the expectations are they're fodder to get beaten.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But I guess it depends who you are as an individual, because you can go into each competition with a completely different mindset and say, "Hey, I'm actually just going to go in here and have fun and enjoy this wave because I've never surfed it." Or you go in, do you know what? Just because I'm at the bottom of the ratings and this is not an excuse. I want to be at the top, so I'm going to fight and claw my way up there regardless of what my position is at the end of this year. So I feel like it's who you are as an individual and what you want out of that tour.
Yeah, sure. But I'm kind of thinking like, we all look at like Jackson Baker. He looks like he's on holidays. He's just like cruising around, just doing a few heats. I know. Look, I know. I'm just saying.
No.
Up until the first part of the year, those 6 contests are so important because your life is on the line. Okay, and the The present you receive if you qualify is the second half of the year. You're just like the third wheel. You're just cruising around, just going, oh yeah, we're surfing here. It's like going on a surf. It's like
you lose the edge.
mean, everybody
it's going on a surf trip because
everybody now. I think that they're that much into surfing. We're not even close into being that eager on surfing as these guys are. But they're that much into surfing. They want of course, you want to win a fucking contest. You want to take that cash home. Yeah,
of course.
Because even if you're crackling in the bottom of the last year, half year, you still need to make fucking money. Yeah? And you have to bring a paycheck home.
And those people like Matt McGillivray and Jackson Baker, those people don't have the sponsorship.
They still need to show that they can go a whole year, and gas on it.
All I'm thinking is that maybe the cut should be 7 events in and not 5 events in, just so it gives it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
it would
then
make
it's
it
just like it takes the.
But what it does now, if you look at the standing, one thing is you look at 1 to 5, but if you look at the points, well, Felipe and Jack, they're gonna figure out who's gonna be on top in trestles. It's between those two. Yeah, because there's 8,000 points down to Ethan Ewing, who's 40,000 points. Yeah. And he's on third place. But from 40,000 points, Ethan Ewing, you can go down to 6th place, that's Kanoe Igarashi. So these guys, they have a lot of stress moment because they have still the possibility, to secure their spot in the top 5, or maybe jump into it, Yeah. So there's the stress part. And the other guys who are cruising on holiday, they're losing in. There's like whatever bonus I get now is a bonus. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And that's when they rack for Kanoa and where they can rack for Ethan.
It is
or whatever,
cool in a way because there's not as much pressure. So sometimes you see these guys actually firing a little bit more because they don't have it's not like pressure situation. They need to win to re-qualify, for example. But
But then again, you need the pressure to be on the top of your game, basically.
Yeah, but I just still think I reckon there is tweaks that would make this tour a little bit better. I just kind of feel like 5 events, if the cutoff was on the 7th event, it would be more dramatic for those first 7 events of the year and also the build up for the final. It just kind of feels like being
one of the 6th event,
5 events in, just because, guys like, for example, George Anka, he only he was so close every time. It just felt like 5 events just was, it was really short, even for someone who had that amount of surfing potential to still not be able to qualify. It just felt to me like it just seemed like the scale was way off. That's all.
Yeah, I understand what you say, but on the other hand, it's the same for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
There's room for 10 people in the elevator, and the first 10 they get into the elevator. Yeah. That's how it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So
doesn't matter who you kick and punch.
There's always somebody really close next to it. That's how it is.
You got to drop it off at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the whole point of this concept is
we don't know.
We don't know, Scott.
I'm sorry. Thanks for this episode of Reve All Stars. Tune in next week to hear about Eva.
I said we don't know.
Scott, relax.
Do your point, Scott.
Please.
I don't even know where I was going with it now. I've completely.
For the whole. You love it, don't you?
I have no idea where I was going with it. I'm lost.
Yeah, so anyway, whether, 5 events, whatever it is, we all have different opinions and it's cool to throw them around, I just kind of, like you say, Scotty, it's up to the surfer in the end, how much effort he wants to give. And, for these guys that are kind of at the bottom end of the tour, then, like I said, the pressure's off them. So, it is what it is. But it's kind of, we'll see what happens at Chopes.
Christmas Day is coming, everybody, and I think we can pretty much wrap up this episode as well. Soon, we all shall know. Chopo is on, starting in 5 days, the 12th of August. Follow it, figure it out.
There's waves.
Get your teams in. Don't forget about that. And then it's only one more Christmas event with the big finals day. With that said, thank you very much, everybody, for listening into our banters. And
peeps. Yep. And good luck for your teams at Chopes. And Scotty, are you going to come back? We need some.
We still need some roadkill
to just
Yeah, I'll see how I feel.
Be friends with
I'll
us.
see what the weather's like and how I'm feeling and what my mood's like.
We still love you, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Yeah.
Maybe we do a live podcasting, commentating episode if Jobs is on fire, and we can play it all
that's
in.
the thing. I just opened up to have a look at the time difference, and it's 6. It's 20 past 6 here in the afternoon, and it's 20 past 6 there in the morning. So they normally start the comp at 7
evening.
So that means that
It's 12 hours. It's flip.
Yeah. So that's really nice for us because it means that the comp will be able to watch it.
It's actually 12 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Not 12 hours behind.
They live in the future.
They live in the future.
It's future surf.
That's
with
perfect.
future fins.
Yeah.
That means that 7 o'clock in the afternoon, and it means you can tune in and have your beer and your food ready, and you're good to go.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, peeps.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Take
Bye-bye.
it easy.
See you on the flip. Over.
Oi. Oi.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Wizzel Shizzle.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
The Shizzle on the Wizzel.
With Jaymin and Pear.